Good morning slash afternoon slash evening, everyone. I want to begin today by speaking to your hearts. You see, each and every one of us has encountered moments in life that were uncomfortable, frustrating, and even painful. We've all experienced situations that seemed to shake us to our core, things that provoked us, made us question ourselves, our choices, and our very purpose. But what if I told you that those very provocations, those moments of discomfort, are not a sign of defeat, but an invitation to your destiny? I want to remind you today that being provoked isn't always a negative thing. In fact, I believe that sometimes it is the very catalyst that God uses to push us toward the purpose we were always meant to fulfill. So I want you to open your hearts, because today we're going to talk about how life's challenges, frustrations, and even the people who get under your skin can be the very thing that moves you closer to the greatness you were designed for. You've been provoked to purpose. Let's explore what that means. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments. Life has a way of stirring us up when we least expect it. We go along our path thinking everything is fine, and then something happens. Someone says something, a situation unfolds, or a challenge arises that disturbs our peace. At that moment, we have a choice: to retreat, to get angry, or to react in frustration. But I want you to think about this. What if that provocation is not meant to harm you, but to awaken something inside of you? Provocation is often misunderstood. It's easy to view it as an interruption, a disturbance to the peace we've worked so hard to maintain. But the truth is, being provoked is not a setback, it's a setup. It's not a random occurrence, but a divine strategy designed to push you out of your comfort zone and into the place you were always meant to be. Think about it. Greatness rarely emerges in the absence of challenge. Every time we face something that provokes us, we are being called to rise to the occasion. It's in the midst of discomfort that we find our strength. When things are stirred up around us, something stirs inside of us too. The frustration, the discomfort, the feeling of being provoked. They are the catalyst for your transformation. We all have potential lying dormant within us, hidden beneath layers of complacency and ease. But sometimes to unlock that potential, we need something to challenge us, to shake us out of the rut we've fallen into. Provocation is that shaking. It's the push that forces you to dig deeper, to find resources and abilities you didn't even know you had. Think about the moments when you've been provoked to change. Maybe it was a person who tested your patience, a situation that felt like it was too much to bear, or a challenge that seemed too great. At first, it felt like an obstacle, a roadblock. But as time passed, you began to see it differently. You realized that the provocation was the very thing that triggered your growth. It was the spark that ignited a fire of determination, perseverance, and courage within you. The power of being provoked lies in how you respond. You can allow the provocation to break you down, to make you bitter, to make you want to give up, or you can choose to see it as an opportunity, a divine invitation to stretch your faith, to stretch your character, and to stretch your capacity for greatness. The provocation you experience today may not feel like a blessing in the moment, but it is. It's an invitation to embrace your calling. It's God's way of saying, I'm ready to take you higher, but first I need to stir you up. I need to move you from where you are to where you're meant to be. The power of being provoked is not in the frustration it brings, but in the strength, the resolve, and the purpose it unlocks in you. Let me know if you'd like further adjustments. So often in life, we run from discomfort. We avoid it at all costs, seeking comfort and ease wherever we can find it. We want smooth roads, easy paths, and clear skies. But here's a truth that we all need to come to terms with. Growth does not occur in the comfort zone. You see, comfort can lull you into a false sense of security, but it is in the moments of discomfort, those seasons when you feel out of place, out of sync, or even out of control, that you are stretched, molded, and shaped into something greater. Uncomfortable situations are where true transformation happens. When things don't go as planned, when the ground beneath you feels shaky, when you're pushed past your limits, that's when you discover what you're truly made of. Think about it. When was the last time you grew without being uncomfortable? When was the last time you saw a new level of success or personal strength without facing a challenge? That challenge, the one you dreaded, is the very thing that has the potential to unlock the next chapter of your life. We often try to avoid uncomfortable situations because we associate them with failure or hardship. We view discomfort as something to be feared or avoided, when in reality, it's the discomfort that prepares us for what lies ahead. It's the challenge that brings the change. It's the times when you feel stretched beyond what you thought was possible that you're actually becoming the person you were meant to be all along. Now, I'm not saying that discomfort is easy. I'm not saying it feels good in the moment. There are times when discomfort brings pain, uncertainty, and fear. But you have to understand that discomfort is not a punishment. It is a teacher. And like any great teacher, it brings lessons that will shape and refine you in ways that comfort never could. The process may not always be pleasant, but it is necessary for your growth, for your destiny, and for the purpose you are called to fulfill. When you embrace the uncomfortable, you open yourself up to new possibilities. You stop running from the very thing that could transform you. You stop avoiding the challenges that could refine your character and deepen your faith. Embracing the uncomfortable is about saying yes to the process, even when you don't know where it will lead. It's about trusting that there's a greater plan at work, one that uses discomfort as a tool to shape your life into something beautiful, something purposeful. Think of the seasons in your life when you were uncomfortable, when everything seemed uncertain or out of your control. Maybe it was a time of loss, a time of transition, or a time of deep personal struggle. It was painful, wasn't it? But it was also in that pain that something beautiful began to emerge. It was in the discomfort that you found new strength, new resilience, and new faith. You were forced to trust in something greater than yourself, to lean on God in ways you never had before, and in doing so, you were prepared for what was to come. There is no growth without discomfort. There is no victory without struggle. It's making you wiser. It's making you into the person you need to be in order to fulfill your purpose. And one day you will look back and see that the very thing that made you uncomfortable was the thing that propelled you forward, that pushed you into the greatness you were meant for. Let me know if you'd like me to adjust anything. We like our lives to be orderly, predictable, and comfortable. We work hard to create routines, establish patterns, and ensure that everything runs smoothly. We want stability, we want peace, and we want things to be in our control. But let me share something with you that might challenge your perspective. Sometimes it is in the disruption that God does His greatest work in our lives. Divine disruption is not an accident. It's not a random event. It is the purposeful intervention of God in our lives to shake us, to move us, and to direct us in ways we may not understand at first. You see, God doesn't always operate within the neat and tidy confines that we've set for ourselves. He's not confined to our plans, our schedules, or our expectations. Instead, He often brings disruption into our lives to guide us, to open our eyes to a greater purpose, and to get us to a place we would never have gone on our own. Disruption is uncomfortable. It's messy. It often comes unexpectedly, and it challenges everything we've built or believed. When a divine disruption happens, it can feel like the ground beneath us is shifting, that everything we thought was secure is suddenly upended. But I want you to understand that this kind of disruption is not to destroy you, it's to develop you. Think of the times in your life when you were disrupted. Maybe it was a job loss, the end of a relationship, a health scare, or a season of transition that threw everything into chaos. It didn't make sense at the time. You may have asked, why, God? Why is this happening to me? But what if I told you that this disruption, though painful and confusing, was part of a divine plan? What if the very thing that felt like it was breaking you was actually the thing that was aligning you with your purpose? Sometimes God has to step in and shake us up because we become too comfortable, too complacent, or too focused on our own plans. We get stuck in our ways, thinking we know best, and then God, in His wisdom and love, brings a disruption into our lives to open our eyes to something bigger, something greater. He uses these moments to break us free from our limited perspective and to show us that His ways are higher, His thoughts are deeper, and His purpose for our lives is far beyond what we could ever imagine. Divine disruption isn't always easy to accept. It doesn't always come with a clear explanation or a roadmap to guide us through. It can feel overwhelming, frustrating, and disorienting. But it is in these very moments that we are often forced to trust in God like never before. It's in these moments that our faith is stretched, that our reliance on God deepens, and that we are moved closer to the purpose we were created for. Think about the lives of the great men and women of the Bible. Many of them were recipients of divine disruption. Abraham's life was interrupted by God's call to leave everything behind and move to an unknown land. Moses was disrupted from his peaceful life in Midian to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. Joseph's life was turned upside down by betrayal, imprisonment, and hardship. Yet, it was all part of God's plan to elevate him to a position of influence and power. And even Jesus' life was marked by disruption. From his birth in a humble stable to the challenges he faced during his ministry, his life was anything but predictable. But every single disruption led to a greater purpose being fulfilled. The same is true for you. Divine disruption comes to reposition you, to redirect you, to realign you with your true calling. What feels like a detour or a setback may be the very thing that propels you into the next phase of your journey. You may not see it right now, but God is using every disruption for your good and His glory. Disruption forces you to let go of the things you've been holding on to so tightly. It compels you to release the things that no longer serve you or the person you are meant to become. It takes you out of your comfort zone and challenges you to trust in God's sovereignty. And as you trust Him in the midst of the storm, you will find that His plans are always greater than your own. When divine disruption occurs, it's an invitation to shift your perspective. It's an opportunity to step back, reassess, and ask God, what are you trying to teach me in this moment? What are you preparing me for? It's easy to fight against disruption, to resist it, to wish for things to go back to the way they were. But if you embrace the disruption, if you trust that God is working behind the scenes, you will see that it leads you to a place of purpose, of growth, and deeper fulfillment. Let me know if you'd like any changes. There are moments in life that serve as a wake-up call. Moments when everything in our world comes to a screeching halt and we are forced to confront the reality of where we are, where we've been, and where we're headed. It could be a sudden change, an unexpected event, or even a quiet stirring within our hearts that jolts us awake. For some of us, it takes a life-altering experience, a hardship or a crisis to wake us up to the fact that we've been living on autopilot, sleepwalking through life, unaware of the purpose and potential that lies within us. A wake-up call isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it comes in the form of a whisper, a gentle prompting from the Spirit, calling us to pay attention, to stop what we're doing, and to look at our lives with fresh eyes. It can be a quiet moment of reflection, a conversation with someone that makes us think, or even an internal shift that happens when we realize that we've been neglecting the deeper callings and desires within us. But the truth is, we all need a wake-up call from time to time. We get so caught up in the demands of daily life, the routine, the responsibilities, and the distractions that we lose sight of our purpose. We forget why we're here. We forget who we were meant to be. And in the busyness of life, we begin to settle for less than what God has planned for us. We allow fear, doubt, and insecurity to keep us in our comfort zones. And we tell ourselves that we're not capable of stepping into something greater. But God, in His grace and mercy, often sends us a wake-up call, a reminder that we were made for more than what we're currently living. A wake-up call is meant to shake us out of complacency, to get us to stop and assess where we are. It's a moment to ask ourselves, are we living in alignment with our purpose? Are we pursuing the dreams and desires God has placed in our hearts, or are we letting life pass us by? Sometimes this wake-up call comes in the form of a challenge, a season of hardship, or a difficult circumstance that forces us to examine our lives more closely. It's in these moments of difficulty that we are often able to see things clearly, to break free from the distractions, and to refocus on what truly matters. For others, a wake-up call comes in the form of a sudden revelation or a new understanding of who we are and what we're called to do. It may be the realization that our current path is not the one we were meant to walk. It might be the recognition that we've been settling for less than God's best. And in that moment when the truth hits us, we can no longer ignore it. We can no longer pretend that everything is fine when deep down we know that something needs to change. It's a turning point, a moment of awakening, and a call to action. You see, a wake-up call isn't just about being shaken from sleep. It's about clarity and purpose. It's about realizing that God has a greater plan for your life than what you've been living. It's about seeing the potential within you even when you've doubted it yourself. A wake-up call opens your eyes to the things that matter most, to your true purpose, to the relationships that need nurturing, and to the dreams that need to be pursued. It gives you a renewed sense of urgency to live with intention, to make every moment count, and to step into the life you were always meant to live. Sometimes when we're in the middle of the storm, we can't see the wake-up call for what it truly is. We see it as a setback, a punishment, or something that's out of our control, but in reality, those moments are often God's way of getting our attention. He's trying to teach us something. He's trying to get us to notice the areas in our lives that need to change. He's calling us to step into a new level of faith, to trust Him more deeply, and to take the steps necessary to fulfill the purpose He has for us. We all have moments of waking up. For some, it's a slow, gradual realization that life isn't going as planned. For others, it's a sudden, jarring moment of clarity that changes everything. But the key to responding to a wake-up call is action. When you hear the call, when you feel that stirring inside of you, it's not enough to simply acknowledge it. You must act on it. You must take the steps necessary to align your life with the purpose and calling that God has placed before you. A wake-up call is an invitation to rise. It's an invitation to let go of the past, to stop holding on to old hurts and regrets, and to embrace the future that lies ahead. It's a reminder that you were created for something bigger, something more impactful, something more meaningful than you could ever imagine. So when the wake-up call comes, don't ignore it. Don't delay. Respond with boldness, with faith, and with a renewed commitment to pursue the purpose that God has for you. Let me know if you'd like any changes. There is something powerful about a seed. It may appear small, insignificant, and sometimes even fragile, but within it lies the potential for something greater. A seed in its very nature holds the essence of life and possibility. And just like a seed, your purpose is embedded deep within you, often in a form that is hidden, waiting for the right moment to sprout and flourish. The seed of purpose is something that's placed inside of us long before we even realize it. It's not something we necessarily create or come up with on our own. It's something we discover over time. From the moment you were born, God planted within you a unique calling, a reason for your existence. It was placed deep in your heart, in your spirit, in your very being, waiting for the right conditions to bring it to life. Just like a seed needs soil, water, and sunlight to grow, the seed of purpose within you requires certain things in order to flourish. It needs time, nurturing, and patience. But above all, it needs the right environment to grow. And that environment is often created through your willingness to trust, to take risks, and to step into the unknown. Too often we hide that seed, thinking it's too small, too insignificant, or too fragile to grow into anything meaningful. But what if I told you that the very thing you've been hiding, the very thing you've been ignoring, is the key to unlocking the purpose and destiny you were created for? Think about the seed itself. It is small, yes, but within it there is an entire tree, a plant, or a flower. Inside that tiny seed is the potential to grow into something that can bear fruit, provide shade, or bring beauty to the world. The seed of purpose inside you may look small right now. It may not yet be fully formed or developed, but that doesn't mean it isn't there. And just because you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't growing. The truth is, the seed of purpose often comes disguised as something that doesn't look impressive at first. It may be an idea, a talent, a dream, or a calling that seems insignificant compared to the larger picture of life. But do not underestimate the power of that seed. God has a way of taking the smallest of beginnings and turning them into something extraordinary. When you plant that seed and begin to nurture it, you are giving it the chance to grow and bear fruit in ways you could never imagine. When you think of the great men and women who have made a significant impact in the world, you'll see that they all started with a small seed, a seed of purpose that was nurtured, watered, and cultivated over time. Some of them didn't even know they had it in them. Others were unsure of how it would turn out. But they took action. They trusted the process, and they allowed that seed to grow, even when the journey seemed uncertain. The process of growing the seed of purpose is not always easy. It requires patience and perseverance. There will be seasons when you feel as though nothing is happening, when you question whether the seed is even taking root. There will be times when the process feels slow, when it seems like the seed isn't sprouting or growing as you thought it would. But here's the thing, growth takes time. Purpose doesn't manifest overnight. Just as a seed takes time to break through the soil, grow its roots, and begin to show signs of life, your purpose will unfold in stages. And each stage is just as important as the last. You may encounter obstacles along the way. There may be times when your seed of purpose faces harsh conditions, dry seasons, storms, or struggles. But just like a seed that has to fight through the soil to reach the sunlight, your purpose will often require you to fight through challenges and adversity to emerge stronger. These challenges are not obstacles. They are opportunities for growth. Every difficulty, every trial you face is part of the process that strengthens you, refines you, and prepares you to step into the fullness of your purpose. As you allow the seed of purpose to grow, you will begin to see the fruit of your labor. You will begin to see the impact of the choices you've made, the seeds you've sown, and the time you've invested in nurturing your calling. The fruit may not always look like what you expected, but it will always be aligned with your true purpose. Sometimes the fruit of your purpose is not immediately visible to others, but it will always be visible to you. You will see the growth in your own heart, in your own life, and in the lives of those around you. The beauty of the seed of purpose is that it is never wasted. Even when you feel as though it is hidden or dormant, it is still growing. It is still working beneath the surface, preparing for the right moment to emerge. God has a way of making things bloom at just the right time, and when that moment comes, you will look back and realize that everything you've gone through, the waiting, the struggles, the pain, was necessary for bringing that seed of purpose into full bloom. Never underestimate the power of the seed that has been planted in you. It may look small now, but it has the potential to grow into something that will change your life and the lives of others. The seed of purpose is not something that is meant to be hidden or buried. It is meant to be nurtured, cultivated, and eventually released into the world to bear fruit. Let me know if you'd like any modifications. In life, obstacles are inevitable. No one is exempt from facing challenges, setbacks, and roadblocks along the journey. They come in all shapes and sizes, whether in the form of personal struggles, financial hardships, health issues, relationship problems, or even internal battles like fear, doubt, and insecurity. Obstacles are a part of life, and sometimes they can seem overwhelming. But here's the truth. Obstacles are not meant to break you. They are meant to make you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Obstacles are not the end of your story. They are merely a chapter in your journey. In fact, the obstacles you face are often the very things that push you to tap into your greatest potential, to discover strengths you didn't even know you had, and to uncover a deep well of perseverance within you. The key to overcoming obstacles lies in your mindset, in your ability to reframe the situation and see it as an opportunity for growth rather than as an insurmountable barrier. When obstacles arise, the natural reaction is often one of frustration, discouragement, and even fear. We can become overwhelmed by the situation, feeling as though we are being knocked down at every turn. It can feel like the universe is conspiring against us, and it's easy to lose sight of our goals when we're stuck in the midst of difficulty. But I want you to understand something. Every obstacle you face is part of the process. Nothing in life that is worthwhile comes easily, and no victory is won without a fight. The very challenges that seem like setbacks are actually preparing you for the next level of success, strength, and fulfillment. Think about the athletes who train for years, pushing through pain, fatigue, and injury, all for the chance to compete at the highest level. They don't see obstacles as reasons to quit. They see them as opportunities to improve, to build endurance, and to sharpen their skills. It's the same in life. The obstacles we encounter are not there to stop us. They are there to stretch us, to help us grow, and to refine us into the person we need to become in order to fulfill our purpose. But overcoming obstacles isn't always easy. It requires mental toughness, faith, and perseverance. You must have the belief that no matter how hard the road gets, you will keep going. You must refuse to let the obstacles define you or derail your progress. When you face an obstacle, it's easy to feel defeated, like you're not good enough, or like you're not capable of pushing through. But the key to overcoming obstacles is remembering that you are more than capable. You have everything within you to overcome the challenges that stand before you. The same strength that brought you this far is the strength that will carry you through. When obstacles arise, the first step to overcoming them is to change your perspective. Instead of seeing them as insurmountable problems, begin to see them as opportunities for growth. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How is this challenge going to help me become better? The ability to reframe an obstacle as an opportunity for learning and growth is one of the most powerful tools you have in overcoming it. Obstacles are not permanent. They are temporary, and your ability to push through them is what will make you stronger on the other side. There will be times when it seems like the obstacles you face are too big, too overwhelming, and too impossible to overcome. But in those moments, it's important to remind yourself that the greater the obstacle, the greater the reward on the other side. There's a reason why overcoming obstacles is so powerful. It's because they teach us lessons that we can't learn any other way. They build character, resilience, and determination. They push us to dig deep and find resources within ourselves that we didn't even know existed. Overcoming obstacles is also about developing the right attitude. It's about refusing to let setbacks keep you down. Life will not always go according to plan. Things will not always be easy. You will face rejection, disappointment, and discouragement. But how you respond to those obstacles is what will determine your success. Do you choose to give up, to quit, or to let the challenges define you? Or do you choose to rise above them? to find strength in the struggle and to keep moving forward. The choice is always yours. Many of the greatest achievements in history have come out of the most difficult circumstances. Think of the great inventors, innovators, and leaders who faced rejection, ridicule, and failure time and time again before finally achieving success. They did not allow obstacles to define them. They saw those challenges as stepping stones, as opportunities to learn, improve, and keep pushing forward. Every obstacle they faced was one step closer to the breakthrough they had been waiting for. One of the most important aspects of overcoming obstacles is believing in the process. There is often a gap between where you are and where you want to be. That gap is filled with obstacles, challenges, and difficulties that tests your patience and perseverance. But you must understand that the process is part of the journey. It's not a shortcut to success, and there are no guarantees along the way. But if you trust the process, if you continue to put one foot in front of the other, eventually you will see the fruits of your labor. Success doesn't come without effort. Every obstacle is a lesson. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. And every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Remember, the obstacles you face today are not permanent. They are simply part of your journey, and they are preparing you for something greater. The strength, courage, and resilience that you develop as you overcome each obstacle will be the very qualities that help you succeed in the future. Never forget that the power to overcome is already within you. You are stronger than you realize, and with faith, perseverance, and the right mindset, there is no obstacle you cannot overcome. Let me know if you need anything adjusted. Adversity. It's a word that many of us dread, a word that conjures up images of struggle, pain, and hardship. It's something that none of us willingly invite into our lives, yet it is one of the most common experiences we all face. We try to avoid it, we try to run from it, and at times we pray that it would simply pass us by. But in reality, adversity is not the enemy. It is a tool, a force that shapes us, refines us, and positions us to fulfill our ultimate purpose. Adversity is not here to destroy us, it is here to build us. You see, adversity has a unique role in our lives. It acts as a catalyst for growth, a catalyst that forces us to confront the very things we may have been avoiding or running from. It pushes us outside of our comfort zones and challenges us to rise above our limitations. Adversity reveals what we are truly made of. It exposes our weaknesses and our strengths, our fears and our courage, and it is in these moments of difficulty that our purpose becomes clearer. Adversity forces us to dig deep within ourselves and draw out the strength, resilience, and faith that we didn't even know we had. When we face adversity, it often feels like our world is falling apart. It feels like everything is against us, and the weight of the struggle seems unbearable. It is in these moments that we are most likely to question our purpose, to doubt our worth, and to wonder if the road we are on is the right one. But what if adversity is the very thing that is driving you toward your purpose? What if the struggles you are enduring are the key to unlocking your calling? The truth is, without adversity, many of us would never discover our true purpose. Without adversity, we would remain stagnant, comfortable in our mediocrity, unaware of the greatness that lies within us. Adversity has a way of stripping away the superficial layers of our lives, revealing what truly matters. It exposes the things that are holding us back, whether it's fear, pride, insecurity, or doubt, and forces us to deal with them. It forces us to confront the truths about ourselves that we may have been avoiding. And through this process, we are refined. Just as gold is refined in the fire, our character, our strength, and our faith are refined in the fire of adversity. Without adversity, there would be no opportunity for refinement. It is through the trials we face that we become stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with our purpose. Think about the great leaders, innovators, and visionaries throughout history. Many of them faced adversity that seemed insurmountable. They encountered failure, rejection, and setbacks that would have caused most people to give up. But they didn't. They kept going. They persevered, and they allowed their adversity to fuel their purpose. It was in their darkest hours that their true calling began to emerge. Adversity doesn't just shape us, it reveals the depths of our potential. It shows us the strength we never knew we had, the courage we never knew existed, and the determination that lies dormant within us, waiting to be awakened. Adversity also teaches us the power of perseverance. It shows us that we are capable of enduring much more than we realize. When we face hardship, we often feel like giving up, like walking away from our dreams, but adversity challenges us to keep going, to press forward even when the road is tough. It reminds us that success is not a straight path. The road to fulfillment, to purpose, is often winding, filled with detours, setbacks, and obstacles. But each time we push through, each time we refuse to give up, we become stronger. Perseverance in the face of adversity is the foundation upon which purpose is built. There's also a transformative power in how adversity shifts our perspective. When things are easy, we can become complacent, unaware of the opportunities around us. We take things for granted, but when adversity enters the scene, it forces us to take a step back and reevaluate our priorities. We begin to see life through a new lens. We become more appreciative of the things we once took for granted. We start to understand the value of hard work, the importance of relationships, and the significance of perseverance. Adversity refines our vision and helps us to see what really matters: our relationships, our passions, and ultimately our purpose. Adversity also teaches us humility. When we are in the midst of hardship, we are often humbled by the experience. We realize that we are not in control of everything, and that some things are beyond our ability to fix or change. But it is in this humility that we are able to lean on something greater than ourselves. Adversity helps us understand the power of surrender. Surrendering our will to God, trusting that He has a plan for us even when we can't see it. It teaches us to rely on faith, to trust that everything we are going through has a purpose, and that we are not alone in the struggle. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of adversity is that it brings us to a place of strength and victory that would not have been possible without the struggle. The beauty of overcoming adversity is not just in the fact that we survive, but that we come out on the other side stronger, wiser, and more capable than we were before. Adversity builds resilience, and resilience is the key to stepping into your purpose. The more you face, the more you endure, the more your character is shaped, and the clearer your purpose becomes. Adversity is a tool. It is not here to destroy you, it is here to prepare you. It is the soil in which the seed of your purpose is planted. And as you go through the process of overcoming adversity, that seed begins to grow, taking root in your heart and mind, and eventually blossoming into the full expression of your purpose. Without adversity, the seed would never have the chance to grow. Without adversity, your purpose would remain dormant. So instead of running from adversity, learn to embrace it. Understand that it is the very thing that is shaping you, refining you, and guiding you toward your true calling. Let me know if you would like any changes. There is a battle that happens within all of us, a struggle that no one else can see, but that we feel deeply in our hearts, in our minds, and in our souls. It's the internal struggle. This battle is often the most difficult one we will ever fight because it happens in the hidden places of our lives. It's the war between what we want and what we know is right, between the person we are and the person we are becoming. The internal struggle is a fight for our thoughts, our emotions, our values, and ultimately our purpose. At the core of this struggle lies a constant tension. It's the tension between who we are right now and who we are becoming. We know we are meant for something greater, something more significant, but the path to get there is fraught with challenges. This struggle isn't just about external circumstances, it's about the battle within ourselves. It's about overcoming our own doubts, fears, insecurities, and limitations. We fight against the voices inside our heads that tell us we're not good enough, that we'll never make it, and that we don't deserve success. The internal struggle is the voice of negativity that keeps us bound to our past, that keeps us questioning our worth, and that holds us back from stepping into the fullness of our potential. The internal struggle is often a result of conflicting desires. On one hand, we want to move forward, to grow, to succeed, and to achieve the dreams that burn deep within us. But on the other hand, there are parts of us that are afraid of failure, of rejection, of making mistakes. There is a part of us that is terrified of stepping out into the unknown, of taking risks that could lead to failure. This is where the internal struggle begins, in the space between our desires and our fears, in the place where uncertainty meets possibility. The battle within can feel overwhelming at times. It's not just about big, life-changing decisions. It's also about the small, everyday choices we make. It's the internal fight we face when we are tempted to give up on a goal because it feels too hard or too far out of reach. It's the struggle to stay disciplined when distractions try to pull us away from what we know we should be doing. It's the tension between our aspirations and our habits, between who we hope to become and the actions we take today. Every decision we make, every action we take, is influenced by the outcome of this internal struggle. What makes the internal struggle so challenging is that it often goes unnoticed by others. While people may see us achieving, growing, or succeeding on the outside, they do not always see the battle that is taking place on the inside. This struggle is fought in the quiet moments, when no one is around, in the stillness of our thoughts, when we are left alone with our own fears, doubts, and insecurities. It's easy to look at someone else and assume that their success came effortlessly or that they don't face the same challenges we do. But the truth is, we are all facing an internal struggle, one that is as unique as each person and as varied as our experiences. One of the most powerful aspects of the internal struggle is that it is not an enemy, it is a teacher. This battle is shaping us, refining us, and preparing us for the future. It forces us to confront the areas in our lives where we are weak, where we are afraid, and where we lack confidence. And through that process, we are forced to develop strength, courage, and faith. The internal struggle is the place where our character is built. It's where we learn to trust ourselves, to believe in our potential, and to take responsibility for our actions. Without this struggle, we would never develop the resilience necessary to face the challenges that come our way. We would never learn how to push through the tough times, how to stay focused in the face of adversity, or how to keep moving forward even when the odds seem stacked against us. The internal struggle often revolves around the question of identity. Who am I really? What is my purpose? What am I meant to do with my life? These are questions that we wrestle with in the deepest parts of ourselves. It's easy to get caught up in what the world expects of us, and what society says we should be, and what other people think we should do. But the internal struggle is about discovering our true selves, who we really are, and what we are truly called to do. It's the process of breaking free from the masks we wear, from the roles we play, and from the expectations placed on us by others. The internal struggle is where we find clarity, where we discover the truth of our identity, and where we align ourselves with our true purpose. One of the hardest aspects of the internal struggle is that it requires patience. We often want immediate answers, quick solutions, and instant results. We want the struggle to end as soon as possible so that we can feel at peace again, but the internal struggle is not something that can be rushed. It takes time, it takes introspection, and it takes a willingness to sit with the discomfort of not having all the answers right away. The struggle is a process, and it requires us to trust that we are being shaped in ways we cannot always see, The growth that comes from the internal struggle is not always visible to the naked eye, but it is happening within us, deep beneath the surface. It's a process that may take years, but it's one that ultimately leads to transformation. In order to overcome the internal struggle, we must also learn to embrace vulnerability. We must be willing to admit that we don't have it all together, that we don't have all the answers, and that we need help. The internal struggle can often make us feel isolated, like we are the only ones fighting this battle, but in truth, we are all facing our own struggles. The key to overcoming the internal struggle is to acknowledge it, to face it head on, and to seek support when needed. We do not have to fight this battle alone. In fact, the struggle is often a reminder that we need each other. It reminds us that we are not perfect, that we are human, and that we are all in this journey together. But even in the midst of the struggle, we must remember one thing. The internal struggle does not define us. It does not determine our worth, and it does not determine our future. The internal struggle is simply a part of the process of becoming the person we are meant to be. It's a necessary part of the journey, one that shapes us, refines us, and prepares us for the great things that lie ahead. And in the end, it is through the struggle that we discover who we truly are and how we can step into the fullness of our purpose. Let me know if you'd like to modify any part of it. Pain. It's a word that no one wants to hear, let alone experience. It's a word that evokes suffering, grief, and hardship. Whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, or even the pain of loss and disappointment, pain is something that all of us must face at some point in our lives. But what if I told you that within pain lies one of the greatest opportunities for growth, transformation, and the discovery of your true purpose? What if I told you that pain is not just something to be endured, but something that can propel you toward your destiny? There is a unique kind of purpose that is birthed through pain, a purpose that you would not have found any other way. Pain has a way of breaking us open, revealing things about ourselves that we might otherwise never see. It strips away the superficial layers of our lives and forces us to confront the raw, vulnerable parts of ourselves that we often try to hide or deny. It is in these moments of pain that we often have our most profound realizations, the moments when we begin to understand who we truly are and what we are truly capable of. When we experience pain, it's natural to question why it's happening. Why me? Why now? Why this? We want to know why we must go through something so difficult, so challenging, so painful, but often the answer is not immediately clear. Pain has a way of distorting our vision, making it hard to see the bigger picture, to understand that the suffering we're experiencing is not meaningless. In fact, pain is often a powerful tool that is shaping us, refining us, and preparing us for something greater. Without pain, we might never learn the lessons we need to learn or grow into the person we are meant to become. Think about the process of refinement. When gold is refined, it is placed in a furnace at incredibly high temperatures to remove the impurities. The heat is intense, the process is grueling, and the gold must endure the pain of the fire. But it is through that pain that the gold becomes pure, brilliant, and valuable. In the same way, pain has a refining effect on us. It tests our character, challenges our beliefs, and pushes us beyond our limits. It exposes the parts of us that need to be healed, that need to be strengthened, and that need to be released so we can step into the fullness of who we are called to be. Pain has a way of revealing our deepest fears, our greatest weaknesses, and our most hidden insecurities. In the midst of suffering, we may feel like we are at our lowest point, like we can't go on, like the weight of the world is too much to bear. But it is precisely in these moments of pain that we often find the strength we didn't know we had. It is in the brokenness, the vulnerability, and the struggle that we discover a deep well of resilience, a strength that was always there, but had to be uncovered through adversity. Pain, while difficult, has the ability to unlock hidden potential within us, to reveal parts of ourselves that we would never have discovered otherwise. The pain you are experiencing right now may be the very thing that is leading you to your purpose. It may be the catalyst that forces you to confront your deepest desires, to ask the hard questions about who you are and what you are meant to do in this world. It may be through your pain that you begin to understand your purpose in ways you never could before. Pain has a way of shifting our perspective. It makes us reevaluate our priorities, reassess our goals, and see the world through a different lens. When we go through something painful, it forces us to look at life differently, to appreciate the things we took for granted, to value our relationships, and to embrace our passions with a renewed sense of purpose. What's important to remember is that purpose does not always come easily. Purpose is not something that is handed to us on a silver platter. It's something that is often discovered through struggle, through hardship, and yes, through pain. Pain has a way of creating a deep sense of urgency within us, making us realize that life is short and that we must use our time wisely. It pushes us to pursue our dreams with a new sense of determination, to seek out what really matters, and to stop wasting time on things that don't contribute to our true purpose. Pain has a way of waking us up to the reality that we have a limited amount of time to fulfill the calling on our lives. There are countless stories of individuals who have gone through unimaginable pain only to come out on the other side with a greater sense of purpose and a more profound understanding of their mission. Think of the athletes who push their bodies to the limit, enduring intense physical pain in order to achieve greatness. Think of the entrepreneurs who face failure, rejection, and financial hardship, only to rise again and build successful businesses. Think of the people who have faced loss, heartbreak, and tragedy, and who have used their pain to help others, to inspire others, and to make a difference in the world. Each one of these individuals found their purpose through pain. They didn't let their suffering defeat them. They allowed it to shape them, to strengthen them, and to guide them toward their ultimate calling. But pain is not just about the lessons it teaches us in the moment. It's about how we use the lessons we learn from pain to impact others. Your pain can be the bridge that connects you to someone else who is struggling with the same thing. Your journey through pain can become a source of strength and encouragement for others who are in the midst of their own battles. When we go through hardship, we often feel isolated, like we are the only ones who are struggling. But when we share our story, when we open up about the pain we've endured and the lessons we've learned, we create a space for others to do the same. Our pain can become a source of healing for those around us. Pain also teaches us to trust in the process. It's easy to want to avoid pain, to run from it, to wish it away. But the truth is, pain is an inevitable part of life. We cannot escape it. However, we can choose how we respond to it. We can choose to embrace it, to learn from it, and to use it as fuel to propel us forward. Pain doesn't have to be a setback. It doesn't have to be a roadblock. It can be a stepping stone to greater things. When we trust that pain is part of the journey, that it has a purpose in our lives, we can begin to see it in a different light. We can begin to see it as a tool for growth, a necessary part of our transformation into the person we were always meant to be. The pain you are experiencing today may not make sense right now. It may feel unfair, unjust, and overwhelming. But remember, pain is not the end of the story. It is often the beginning of something greater. It is the soil in which your purpose is planted. It is the fire that refines you. It is the struggle that prepares you for the success, the joy, and the fulfillment that lie ahead. And if you hold on, if you endure, if you press through the pain, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your purpose than ever before. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments. There comes a moment in everyone's life when everything aligns, when the path you've been walking finally leads to the place where you're meant to be. It's the moment when your efforts, your dreams, your desires, and your purpose all come together, and in that moment you'll realize that this is your time to shine. It's a moment that doesn't come often, but when it does, it changes everything. The timing might not always be perfect, and the journey might have been full of setbacks, struggles, and heartaches, but the time will come when you are ready, when you are prepared, and when the world will be waiting to see what you have to offer. It is your time to rise up, to show the world your brilliance, and to walk boldly into the fullness of your potential. For so long, many of us have been waiting for the right moment. We've been waiting for the stars to align, for everything to be perfect, for the conditions to be just right. But the truth is, there is no such thing as a perfect moment. The perfect moment is the one that you create. The time to shine is not something that comes when you've reached a certain milestone or achieved a particular goal. No, the time to shine is when you decide to stop waiting for permission, stop waiting for approval, and stop waiting for the right time. The time to shine is right now. The moment you decide to step into your greatness, to believe in your worth, and to show up for yourself, that is the moment you begin to shine. We've all had moments of self-doubt, moments where we questioned our abilities, our worth, and whether we were truly capable of fulfilling the dreams in our hearts. The voices of fear, insecurity, and doubt have a way of creeping in, convincing us that we're not enough, that we're not ready, or that we don't deserve success. But let me tell you something, those voices are lies. You are more than capable. You are more than ready, and you absolutely deserve to shine. The moment you stop listening to the voices of doubt and start listening to the voice of truth, the moment you start believing in the power that lies within you, is the moment your time to shine begins. Shining is not about seeking validation from others. It's not about proving yourself to the world or gaining the approval of those around you. Shining is about embracing who you are, understanding your worth, and walking confidently in the truth of your purpose. It's about showing up as your authentic self, unapologetically, knowing that you have something unique to offer. The world doesn't need you to be like everyone else. It doesn't need you to conform to someone else's standard of success. The world needs you to be the best version of yourself. The world needs you to shine in the way only you can. There is a power in embracing your individuality, in recognizing that you were created for something specific and that your presence in this world matters. When you step into your purpose, when you own who you are, when you choose to shine, you begin to make an impact. Your light will not only guide you, but it will also light the way for others. There is someone out there waiting for your voice, your story, your perspective. Your light is not meant to be hidden, it is meant to be shared. When you shine, you inspire others to do the same. Your success doesn't just belong to you, it belongs to everyone who sees you step into your greatness, and it gives them the courage to step into theirs. But shining isn't always easy. It requires you to overcome fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. We live in a world that can be critical, where people often try to dim the light of others, but you cannot let fear or criticism hold you back. Your time to shine is not determined by the opinions of others, nor should it be confined by the limitations you've placed on yourself. The only person who can hold you back is you. The moment you decide that your light is not dependent on someone else's acceptance, that's when you'll truly begin to shine. Shining is also about embracing the struggles you've faced, the journey you've walked, the obstacles you've overcome, and the lessons you've learned have all prepared you for this moment. Your pain, your struggles, your failures. All of these things are part of your story. They are not things that should hold you back. They are the very things that qualify you to shine. Every setback you've faced has been a setup for your comeback. Every challenge you've encountered has been a lesson in resilience. You are not the sum of your failures. You are the result of the strength you found in those moments of adversity. Your time to shine is not just a reflection of your successes, but also of the perseverance you've shown through the hard times. There's also a beauty in the timing of it all. Your time to shine might not come when you expect it. It might not happen on your schedule. You may feel like you've been overlooked, like your time will never come, but trust me, your moment is coming. Everything you've been through, every challenge you've faced, every lesson you've learned has been part of the preparation process. You are being molded, shaped, and refined for this moment. And when your time comes, it will be undeniable. You will know that it is your time to step into your calling, to fulfill your purpose, and to shine like never before. Don't be afraid to shine because of what others might think. Don't dim your light because someone else is intimidated by it. The world needs your brilliance. The world needs your uniqueness. The world needs your perspective. You were not made to blend in. You were made to stand out, to shine brightly, to make your mark. Your time to shine is not just about you. It's about the impact you will have on those around you. It's about leaving a legacy, inspiring others, and being the light that someone else desperately needs to see. Sometimes the greatest barrier to shining is the fear of what might happen once you do. What will people think? What if I fail? What if I'm not ready? The truth is, the world is waiting for you. Your time to shine will not just bring light to your life, it will bring light to others. There is someone waiting for your story, for your gifts, for the impact that only you can make. When you shine, you give others permission to shine too. So stop hiding, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Your moment is now. This is your time to step out of the shadows, to embrace your brilliance, and to shine for all the world to see. Let me know if you want to make any modifications or adjustments. As we close today, I want you to carry with you this truth. You are not here by accident. Every trial, every setback, every uncomfortable moment has been a part of your journey, a part of your process. You were not simply provoked by life's challenges to survive them. You were provoked to thrive, to find purpose, and to step into a destiny that was always meant for you. The moments of struggle are not the end of your story. They are the launching pad for the greatness within you. Your purpose is not defined by the pain you've experienced, but by the strength you've gained through it. The world needs the version of you that emerges from the fire. You are stronger, wiser, and more capable than you know. So I challenge you today, don't let your circumstances dictate your future. Don't let the setbacks or the struggles be the reason you hold back. Instead, use them. Let them propel you into the purpose you were always meant to fulfill. The provocation you've experienced is the invitation to your greatness. It's the call to rise up, to stand tall, and to walk in the authority of your purpose. Remember, every obstacle you face is not there to break you. It is there to make you, to refine you, and to equip you for the purpose that is uniquely yours. So, take that step forward, embrace the discomfort, let the provocation lead you to the fulfillment of your destiny. Your time is now. It's time to live on purpose, with purpose,